Last time on Square Roots, we rack up some mileage as we head out of town to conquer a crusade. But first, we hit all the classic roadside attractions. A lich cave, a burned-out inn, and a goblin in a pit. Breaker, breaker, my call sign is Ball Spawn. I'm in your chair and I love it there. Honk honk, that's trucker talk.
Hello, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. I'm here with my friends Matthew TikTok Van Zandt.
Hello!
And Vanessa Burn Down the Patriarchy, Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Burn Down the Patriarchy, Vanessa, and I'm here to burn down the patriarchy, Vanessa.
That's great. On this podcast, we like to play a classic RPG, one chunker at a time. Right now, we are playing the game Baldur's Gate, and we're doing the Siege of Dragonspear DLC, which we figured, by we, I mean Matthew, figured we should do because it bridges Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. And so we're doing that now, and it's pretty good. That's my
it's either
hot
do it now
take.
or do it when we do Baldur's Gate 2 next year, you know?
It's true. It's true.
Or Baldur's Gate 2 next, since Vanessa has already started playing it.
I accidentally already started playing it.
Vanessa loves Baldur's Gate.
Vanessa loves
I'm a gate girl
Baldur's
now.
Gate. She's
I'm a gatekeeper.
Gate girl.
Vanessa loves Ball Spawn.
Does
Kind
that
of.
mean semen? Ugh, I don't like that. So
This is going to be a tough edit because we are all off. Like, we're all just like a second off. We're all just barely talking over each other and answering too quickly.
no,
even though it's
on my
natural.
side, it sounds
No.
fine. I don't know. I know how to
Also-
adjust tracks, Matthew, so it's not a big deal. But I guess for you, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough for me. I can't do it.
Wow.
Also, this is our first episode with our new AI host, Chatbot 11, JohnnyBot 11. Johnny Bot, do you want to continue trying to host this episode?
I do want to continue hosting this episode, and first, I would like to talk about.
This is a weird. Your robot impression is terrible. You just sound like a Canadian that can't talk right.
Okay, let me try again. I am a robot. Yeah, but no, like, if you listen to those AI things, remember when I made those Patrick Stewart clips where he was complimenting the show?
Yeah.
And it was more like, I'm Patrick Stewart, and I
have too many fingers.
I think if I were a writer on Saturday Night Live, I would make a sketch saying, like, oh, you know, a trailer for an amazing AI-generated movie, and everyone has, like, 15 fingers. Like, that would be such an easy effect to do for a fun joke. And then, like, also, like, make everyone sit, like, in that that fake sitcom that was on Twitch until it got removed, where, like, and they're, like, falling onto couches and stuff. It would be such an easy Saturday Night Live sketch, and they don't do it because they don't have me as their head writer.
That's such an SNL sketch. I think you need to put together a package and start writing for that show.
Well,
You're gonna have
not
a tough
right
time doing
now.
that right now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Maybe you can be a scab.
Support the WGA strike. Do you want to briefly touch on some hot video game news?
Yeah.
Yay! So we talked last time about the Activision deal being blocked by England. There's some other hot news, though. Did anyone see that? Kotaku apparently posted some leaks of Tears of the Kingdom, which is the worst thing that anyone in the history of media has ever done, is post a thing.
They're game journalists, though, and that's news, so I don't understand.
What did they post?
Tears of the Kingdom spoilers.
Oh, don't post spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom. That's awful. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. What kind of monster would post something like that? Burn Kotaku to the ground.
I mean,
It's about ethics. Never mind.
No.
I realized yesterday, complaining about Kotaku is turning 20 next year, which is amazing. I remember people complain.
It's a shitty site.
Yeah, I don't read it. I don't know how it's managed to stay alive so long, but yeah, whatever. Who cares? Was there any other? Oh yeah, there's so Xbox just keeps getting L after L, and people are like, "What's Microsoft gonna do?" There's no games on Xbox, and I play games on Xbox all the time, but I realize I mostly play old games, and I'm not super bugged about new games not coming out. I don't know.
They just had that surprise release from. Was it Blizzard? The rhythm action game?
Hi-Fi Rush
like
was that December?
I didn't care for it, but people
was that
liked
December?
I think there's been a lot of good releases on the Xbox Game Pass. But
Yeah,
so you're talking about Redfall? Redfall is getting absolutely destroyed in the reviews.
Disappointed.
Yeah, me too. It's an Arcane Studios game. They're like my favorite fucking studio these days.
Yeah, I like those games. I like Deathloop.
Like Dishonored.
You
I
like
love
a Prey?
Dishonored.
Loved
I like Prey.
I feel like it's gonna be like just wait for games to be finished, I guess. Like I'm not gonna play Jedi Survivor this month, but I might if they fix the PC version, I'll probably buy it next month. I thought that first game was pretty great. And
I figure it'll come to Game Pass eventually and I'll just play it then.
We have a listener who I know for a fact has been having trouble getting that game to run, and she was so excited to play it. So shout out to that unnamed listener, Julie.
Hi, Julie. We hope that you get Jedi Survivor to run. I hope that those aliens still look like good puppets like they did in the first one, because that was kind of the only thing I liked about that game.
I really liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I never finished the first one. I just bounced off it. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay.
It had that Dark Souls combat, and it was like set up in like a Metroidvania style, but like I thought that the level design in that game was terrible. A lot of circling around just to get back to where you started.
Yeah.
That always annoys me. Like, what did I just spend 30 minutes doing?
I'm very excited to play the next one, but I can hang on. I'm playing some. I guess I just have so many games in my backlog that I'm not super perturbed if one's not. I think that they shouldn't release a game that's not finished. But
I agree. I mean, that's a real problem in gaming. Game companies should not be releasing games that aren't fucking finished. That's unacceptable. You wouldn't buy a goddamn half-made hamburger. You wouldn't buy a house that only had 2 walls. Like, you finish your fucking product before you put it out. I don't understand how these game companies aren't getting sued into oblivion by consumers for releasing faulty products.
Do you think that games are just so complicated that it's impossible to play test them on the scale that they would need to be to make a solid release?
But games do come out finished. It happens all the time.
True.
It's true. There are some games that come out just fine, but then there's other games that come out and they're barely playable. And it seems like they're just released because they don't want to keep delaying them and they want their money now. And I don't know. It's a tough business. I don't envy anyone working in video games. I don't think I want to do that, even if I did have that amazing. Oh wait, that was for Saturday Live. That's not a video game. So anyway, the end. Do any of you have any hot gaming news other than 2 games came out and were totally broken? And they're both it's not that often that 2 games come out that I'm interested in playing. I don't know. I've been a little bit like neutral on stuff lately.
I was a little on the fence for Redfall because as like a online co-op shooter, that's already not a genre that I'm super into. But I definitely was going to give it a shot because it's Arcane Studios, and now I haven't even downloaded it. Like, no thanks. Call me when it's good.
Yeah, I'll just wait till and I'll play it with you when it's good. Although,
will
as
it get
always,
good? I mean, didn't that what people said about Anthem? And then they were just like, nah, let's just dump this piece of shit.
That is true. And I did try playing Anthem a few months ago, just because it's like, oh, it's on Game Pass. Let's see what it's like. Oh.
And it was garbage.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I remember when you tried playing Anthem. And I was very confused as to why you were doing it.
Oh, I like
Have some hot
BioWare.
gaming news.
Yeah, let's hear a Matthew hot gaming news.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom comes out in 8 days! Oh, shit! Can we play that next for the show instead of Final Fantasy?
No.
Please?
I didn't finish the first
please?
one.
No.
And it's a direct sequel.
Come on, Zelda games are never actually direct sequels.
Well, I think this one is, though, isn't it?
This one's got Mullet Link. Yes, it's a direct sequel. It's like Majora's Mask. Which means that they reused a lot of assets.
A guy that I've been going on some dates with went through a period a couple of years ago where he had a mullet. He decided to shave his head into a mullet, or hair into a mullet, and with a mustache. And I called it aggressively fashionable, and he laughed for like 2 minutes, and that seemed kind of mad at me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's not a good look, though. On any human being.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do a mullet.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first.
Mm-hmm. What about Tina Turner's post-apocalyptic mullet in Beyond Thunderdome?
What about it?
Is that a bad look?
No, nothing on Tina Turner was ever a bad look.
Okay.
It was terrible. Let's not rewrite the past because it was Tina Turner that had the mullet. Mullets are garbage. Don't do a mullet, even if you're Tina Turner.
You have disrespected an icon on this show. I heard it.
Yep.
Johnny heard it. The listeners heard it.
Bring
And
it,
you're
Tina
just going to
Turner.
have to live with the consequences of that.
Now
Well, you
you've
know,
got
Lady
to
by
ask
now, I'll
yourself, what's Level Up got to do with it? And Vanessa's going to be the first one to answer that question.
You must understand, though the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. How was that impression?
Pretty bad.
I leveled up by getting a brand new telephone. Ring,
What?
ring. New phone, who dis? It me.
Whoa! Cutting edge, cord cutter, technology girl, Vanessa.
Yeah, I had been rocking an iPhone 8, which is, I don't know, 6 years old, something like that.
6,000 years old.
Yeah, I decided it was finally time to upgrade. So I got myself the 14 Plus. It's super big. It's as big as my hand. I love it.
Show me your hand. Show me one hand and one iPhone, like next to each other. Yep, Vanessa is not lying. Her middle finger
is as
extends
large
a
as her hand.
little bit above, but that is either Vanessa's hands are very small and delicate, or that is a very large phone. And it does have like a Tron symbol on it.
It's not a Tron symbol. It's in its clear little case, and it has a thingy on the back to help it do the wireless charging thing through the case. It is purple. It's got 2 cameras. It takes beautiful selfies. Probably going to be an influencer
only
now.
2 cameras? What a piece of crap.
Yeah, it's got like the 2 there. It looks real clear and good. You can see my beautiful lock screen there. It's gorgeous.
Cat.
Yeah, there's a cat.
Yep. And I like it very much. Yes, I don't really have anything to say about it beyond that. Just bragging on my sweet new gear.
Does your phone have any games on it?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's got
Drip.
a Covet Fashion. The fashion dress-up game that everyone loves to enjoy. And I think that's actually basically the only game I have on here right now.
Oh.
I have Flappy Bird on here because after
Why
you
not?
got Flappy Bird back in the day, you couldn't get it back if you ever uninstalled it. So I never uninstalled it. But I don't know if it actually runs. No, it says it needs to be updated by the developer. So, all right, time to delete Flappy Bird. There we go. Oh, and I do have a free Sudoku on here. So that's a good game. It's a game where you put numbers in a grid So that's cool. Yeah, I'm a real gamer. I got lots of games. I have a Pokemon Go. That's on here.
Pokemon Go.
It
I
also
don't
needs an
believe it.
update because I haven't used it in forever. All right, so that's that. The other thing I did is I watched season 1 of a television show called You.
Me?
You.
That's the whole name?
That's the whole
Is that
name.
the one? Is that the one about the stalker guy?
Yeah. It's a show about a stalker guy. I think the first season at least is based on a book. And it stars some guy who was in Gossip Girl, which is a show that I never watched. His name is Penn Badgley.
Teller.
Penn Badgley. And a woman named Amber Childers. And it's essentially like a Lifetime movie, but a TV show, because it's all about this very toxic romantic relationship, and this guy is stalky and creepy, but it's told from his perspective, and he kind of narrates the whole thing. It reminded me a little bit of Nabokov's Lolita, where you are presented with a unreliable narrator who does terrible things, but the book and this show is kind of all about how he justifies it in his head. It's a little bit easier to comprehend than Lolita because it shows you pictures, so maybe all of those idiots in colleges who want to go to school and argue that Lolita seduced Herbert Humphrey, whatever his name is, and they're like, oh, she was a seductress. F you. You can F right off with that and watch this show instead. It will be a little bit easier for you to understand.
Children can't be seductresses. They're
Yeah,
children.
exactly. At 100%. And also, if you read the book, it's like the whole thing, he talks about how, oh, she seduced me, but then sometimes he slips up as a narrator and he's like, and then she cried herself to sleep. It's like, yeah, there's hints there about what is actually happening, and it's not what he's saying is happening. Get good at reading comprehension.
Get good at it.
Doggos. Get good. Anyway, that was my rant about Lolita. I like you. I enjoyed the first season.
Aw, we like you too.
Aww.
Yeah.
The band, you too. We like them.
Yeah.
What? Oh. I mean, they're okay.
I
Even
actually
after
hate the
Songs
band
of
U2.
Remember when they put that on everyone's phone?
I do remember when they put that on my phone, and I was like, "Fuck you!" How
Nobody
fucking
liked
dare
that.
you?
I don't think that people understood how protective people are of their music libraries. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the whole show is on Netflix. I think it's 4 seasons now, so I intend to keep watching and enjoying it. And that's how I leveled up. Matt, how did you level up?
I did 2 things. Number 1, I played a little-known classic game released by a small indie developer called Resident Evil 4
Ooh.
Remake.
Ooh.
Well, by played, I have not quite finished it. I'm on chapter 13. I love it. I kind of hate it too, but I love it. It's very fun. It's good. Has anybody else played that game?
No, I've never played a Resident Evil game.
I've played Resident Evil 4 regular version. I finished that game.
I guess that when I played it the first time, I made it all the way through the village and didn't really realize that I had done that because I replayed it and was like, I don't recognize any of this. I must be way past where I was the first time I played the original version of this game. And then I got to the big fight in the barn and was like, oh, wait, I did this. I was like, did they add the boats to the boat section? Did I do that? I just don't remember it.
No, that boat section was in there for sure. It was obnoxious.
It's good in this one. I really like this game a lot. It's a lot of fun. It does do that thing where it occasionally is just like, here's something that's way too hard for a human being to ever do. So go ahead and try it 6 times, and then eventually you manage to pull it off. And it's pretty satisfying, but, you know, it's kind of annoying. I guess all the Resident Evils kind of do that, to be honest. Hang on.
Law. That's what Matthew just did.
Yeah, that's what I did. Not just a very loud burp. Anyway, I am through the village, through the castle. I made it to the island. I took one look at the island and was like, "Oh fuck, man! I don't know if I have any more of this in me." There's like turrets and shit. Come on. But it's fun. It's great. The remake is excellent. It looks fantastic. It plays super well. The combat is fun. The scares are good. The story is, I mean, it's Resident Evil. It's a Capcom story. They clearly do not have writers on staff. They just have a dartboard with words on it that they throw darts at. That's how they create stories in Resident Evil. But who cares? Like, it's fun. It's funny. I don't remember the details of Resident Evil 2 enough to get all of the chit chat about what happened in Raccoon City. I'm always like, what? Who?
Yeah, he was there. There was the chief.
I know. I just don't remember it.
There was Shirley, the little girl.
Was he in 3? Or
Ashley.
is that one Chris Redfield? Don't they do a different protagonist like every time? Like sometimes it's Leon, sometimes
Resident
it's Claire,
Evil 1
sometimes it's Chris.
Was
now it's Ethan. We love you.
Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield. Resident Evil 2 was Claire Redfield and Leon Kennedy. Resident Evil 3 was just Jill Valentine, although that other guy, I always forget his name. It's not Carlos because he's in 0. And then Resident Evil Code Veronica was Claire Redfield and Chris Redfield. Resident Evil 5 was Shiva and Chris Redfield. That's right. And 6 was everybody. 6 was just except Jill. I think Jill's not in 6.
Huh, I didn't know that. I heard that 6 was terrible and never played it. I don't think I played 5 either.
I played most of 6 with Stan, and that was really fun.
And then 7 and 8 are amazing games that everybody should play. Anywho, Resident Evil 4 Remake. It's awesome, and I love it. I also did watch a movie. I started watching the movie Renfield. Is it Renfield? Renfeld?
It's Renfield.
Renfield?
Is it Feld? I thought it was Field. I'm pretty sure he has an I in there.
When the trailers came out for that, I thought it looked amazing with Nicholas Hoult as Renfield and Nicolas Cage as Dracula. It also has Benny Schwartz and Awkwafina. So a ton of great actors that all equaled up together should make for an amazing movie. And it was so bad that I turned it off halfway through. I could not finish it. It was absolute garbage.
I'm kind of
like
surprised.
Jim did with Cocaine Bear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised Vanessa hasn't watched it due to it having Nicholas Hoult, and she
not
enjoys a Hoult.
She'll dislike him more. She'll start to dislike him if she watches it. I guess what they're trying to go for is like a super powered like action comedy with a lot of gore, and it's stupid. And Awkwafina plays a cop whose father was a cop that died in the line of duty, and I know that because every line of dialogue said by or to Awkwafina is about how her father was a cop that died in the line of duty. I mean, everyone that talks to her references that, and every time she opens her mouth, she references that. And all Renfield does is mope about Dracula. And there was this weird thing with his he has there's a voiceover done by Nicholas Hoult, and it is like so fucking twee that it actually started to like grate on me. And I'm not a person that dislikes twee, but this was too much. Now Vanessa's kind of interested. She's going,
yeah, I got a little bit more interested when you mentioned he was twee.
Did I mention that he gains superpowers by eating bugs?
Well, everyone does. They're full of protein.
A lot of the movie the half of the movie that I watched was just action scenes of Nicholas Hoult eating a bug and then doing Matrix-style fighting, and it was bad. It was really bad. It was bad.
Matthew, actually, speaking of eating bugs, Matthew made us go through this test to find out our dark secrets about our food tolerances, because Matthew is highly disgusted by food situations that he would judge as
it's mostly it's rotten food grosses me out a lot,
and brown dots on food.
And bugs also really gross me out a lot. And then the last one that really fucks me up is people touching my food. Like, don't, with your fingers? No. I don't like that.
So Matthew has discovered to his horror that he is very reactive to food disgust, while Vanessa and Johnny are like,
Yeah.
Why is that to my horror? Why is it? First of all, why did I discover this? I was well aware that I'm very weird about food. Because the thing is I'll eat most things, like types of food. I don't have a lot of problems, but like,
no,
like, picked the mold off the bread, it's fine. Like, no, I'm good.
I do that all the time. But that your roommates, the people that you, but it's not fair. I bought bread from 7-Eleven and was eating a dinner, and I was like, oh, there's a little bit of mold on this, and I just bought those, and I just picked it off and ate it. But what I'm saying is that your roommates, these people that you live with, just don't really care.
My whole life.
No, since you started the show.
No, we were all orphans together. We learned this last year, Johnny.
Yeah, remember we had amnesia.
Together as children.
Oh, right, I forgot. I had more amnesia from using my guardian forces.
Anyway, that's how I leveled up. I watched Renfield, or at least part of it, until I had to turn it off because it was terrible. And I've been playing Resident Evil 4, and I'm fucking obsessed with it.
Yay.
Johnny.
Well, I
have
haven't.
Level up.
I've been playing more Oblivion and Skyrim. Oblivion when I'm on my Switch, and Skyrim when I'm on my Xbox, and they're both.
I just can't imagine playing either of those games ever again.
I love them. I could play. They're games I could play.
I love them too. I've played them like 4 times a piece.
Time.
Yeah, I've played like 300 hours of Skyrim or more.
Mm-hmm. It's just fun. I really like those games, and I enjoy playing them to chill out. Same with the Fallout games. But I also played some more. Oh, I realized something. I thought there was something wrong with my computer because it kept hard crashing and all that. But I realized it's only when I play EA games. Like, only when I play either Need for Speed Unbound or Mass Effect Legendary Edition does my computer crash. It's just those two games that make my system crash. There's something up with the EA app that my computer does not like. And also I realized I have like 10 seconds to hit Alt F4 when the game freezes, and then my computer's fine. But if I leave it going, then it just shuts down my system.
Sounds like it's time for you to get a new gaming rig.
No, it's a new game. I mean, I got it last year, and it's a good system. It sounds like that EA app is garbage.
Oh, that's true. It does sound like that EA app is garbage.
And the only reason that they even have an app is because they're like, well, Steam makes money, so we can make money with our crappy app. And they even if you buy a game through Steam, you still have to play it through this crappy app. And apparently, the big problem is if you bought it on one service...
Say crappy app again.
Crappy app. If you bought it on one service and then are playing it on another, so if you have Steam, if you start it through Steam because you bought it in Steam and then run it through the EA app, that makes it way more likely to do this crashing thing. It's just terrible. Just terrible. PC games, I like PC gaming, but it's garbage. You gotta go through so many hoops, and it's so unstable. And you gotta... I messed around with my computer's resolution to do the presentation the other day, and I forgot that it changes my refresh rate back, and my monitor was all chuggy and bad, and it took me like... It's one of those things where if you Google, hey, why is this game running in VSync mode for no reason, and they're like, no, it's you should change your drivers. It's like, no, it's you got to go to your display properties and change monitor refresh to 144, and then it'll be fine. And I always forget that, and trying to troubleshoot PC problems just leads to you being randomly insulted by strangers on the internet when you Google, why is this happening?
I hate that. I hate going to message boards and seeing people's stupid comments when people ask for help of like, oh, I can't believe you can't figure that out, blah, blah, blah. It's so dumb. Just like what they really want to say is, I'm very smart. I'm good at computer.
I would never have this happen to me.
Yeah, but you don't even need to like veil it in that. Just write, I'm very smart. I'm good at computer. Like that's what you need to share with the world. That's why you're saying what you're saying. It's less obnoxious than telling someone that like they need to get good. Just say, I'm very smart and good.
I
if
follow
you actually
this.
are very smart and good at it, then tell them how to do it. Because if you're so smart and good at computer, you must know.
Well, like the amount of hoops to go through to get like a variable refresh rate monitor working on your PC with HDR. There's like 15 different things you got to do to get that set up. I can see why people don't bother with those things. And even if they have the right equipment, it's so annoying to get it set up to actually work the way that it's supposed to work.
Yeah, and plus some people know about some things and some people know about other things.
Mm-hmm. And I know about these things, but even then, like, I'll forget, I have to go to the Windows display property and check the refresh rate of my monitor, which just, it's not something that even would occur to me. I thought it would be in the game setting or in the NVIDIA settings.
Yeah. And even if you do know about things, like in my work, I know about things and I know what I'm doing with it. But sometimes I'll just have a moment where I'm like, is that right? And I'll go and like look at some documentation and be like, oh yeah, that was right. But you know, it's like your brain just sometimes needs a little extra help to get there. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
but
brains
once
need
again,
help.
Playing games with that steering wheel is pretty amazing. I love my steering wheel. What a good purchase. I'm still enjoying it 2 months in, so that's a good sign.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyway, other than that, just watching. I finished season 13 of Taskmaster, and I bought season 4 of Taskmaster to rewatch Mel Gidrich and Hugh,
Out of order.
Hugh Daly. What's Hugh's last name?
Dennis.
Hugh Dennis. And
Knockers. Huge
Noel,
Knockers, I believe, is the name you're looking for.
Noel Fielding? Is that the
Noel
goth
Fielding,
man?
yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and Lolly, I can't remember her last name. They're all great. Yeah. What a great season.
Yeah.
That maybe
I think it is
best
a great season.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying that. My favorite bit on Taskmaster ever, I think, might be the trailer that Hugh and Mel make for Taskmaster Season 4, which she decides to make into a Norwegian crime drama. A subtitled
That was pretty
Norwegian
great.
crime drama. Anyway, so let's move on to Vanessa's stupid game.
Hi! It's time for Vanessa's Stupid Game, a.k.a. Smush Mouth. It's Smush Mouth. I guess we haven't really mentioned the elephant in the room, or should I say the lack of elephant in the room.
Oh, right, yeah.
Jim's dead.
Jim.
He's dead, and he's no longer participating in this game, so...
You know what? If Jim does die before this episode is released, you're going to look like a real callow psychopath.
Jim's never going to die.
Jim lives forever. He is a
made
Highlander.
it clear in his Patreon exclusive presentation
that he's immortal.
That he's immortal. So it's not something we have to worry
if
about.
you are on our Patreon, please check out the presentations we made. Jim's, especially his made at the literal last minute presentation, is pretty spectacular.
It's really good. It's like a really, really spot on.
Strangely
parody, and I liked it very much.
insulting about the rest of us.
I loved it. You know how I like to be negged. Like,
That's
it was
true.
perfect.
Yeah.
So, since Jim is not here, it's another chance for you two to pull ahead and become the Smush champions.
Yay!
How does Smush Mouth work? I'll tell you after I take a sip of this refreshing water.
Glug, glug, glug. Glug, glug, glug. Glug, glug, glug.
Smush Mouth works like this. I will ask you 2 questions or give you 2 clues. The answers to both of those clues/questions smush together to form one ultimate question. In the standings currently, we have Johnny in first place, Jim in second, and Matt in third. But this is a great opportunity to mix that up. Smush Mouth. It's still anyone's game. Clue 1. This prickly pal loves to unleash his 1,000-needle attack. Clue 2. This horror anthology for kids first aired on Nickelodeon in 1992.
Buzz.
Yes, Matt?
Cactuar, are you afraid of the dark?
It is Cactuar, are you afraid of the dark?
Do you notice
Round
what
2.
I did?
Clue 1.
You're going to have to
This
wait a minute.
metal man befriended Luca
Can you not
in
hear me?
Chrono Trigger. Sorry, what, Matt? He's not going to repeat it, so I'm just going to repeat myself instead. Clue 1.
Pay
This
attention,
metal
Vanessa.
man befriended Luca
You need to pay attention, Vanessa.
in Chrono Trigger.
Vanessa.
Yeah. Oh, where'd Johnny go?
I don't know.
Did you just kick him out of the Zoom call so you could win answers, Matt? Matthew Van Sant, of all the dirty, low-down tricks, I can't believe this.
That was really funny for me. I should have
This
let you
is
keep
the-
going and kept answering them myself.
This is the least sportsmanlike behavior I have ever seen. He's going to be so frightened and confused. Because he probably doesn't even
broken.
know that he's been kicked out. He's just sitting there in silence, waiting for his friends to talk to him.
What? What happened?
Never in my life have I seen such underhanded tactics. Such low down, unsportsmanship like
I booted you so that I
dirty
could
tricks.
Wow. That doesn't seem right. Why would you do
It's
that?
not right. And if
just
Matt
a
wasn't
prank.
in third place, I would issue some harsh penalties for that.
Yeah, third place. I'm untouchable.
But as it is, let's continue. Johnny, are you ready? Are you ready, bud?
I am ready.
Okay. You need a moment. You need
No, I'm
to
good.
talk out this betrayal or anything like that.
Nah, it's fine.
All right. Moving on. Round 2.
Wait, what?
I got the point, Johnny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we don't know what
Okay.
happened to you, so I got the point. You just kind of vanished from the call. I mean, don't hang up on us, and then you won't miss out on the game.
Huh.
Round
Do you
2.
want to make a guess at the first one, Johnny?
I didn't hear the second clue.
Take a guess at it anyway.
Tor. Let's see. Tor. Cactor. Let's see. A horror anthology for children.
Uh-huh.
There's
It's pretty clear that I would have won it anyway. So
yeah. I guess I
Yeah.
haven't heard of this one. What's it
was
called?
Cactuar, are you afraid of the dark?
Oh, I think it's because I say Cactor. You afraid of the dark wouldn't work.
Yeah, why would you say
Cactuar,
cactuar?
you
It's
being
cactuar.
served?
Cactuar
Okay.
bumps.
Round 2. Clue 1. This metal man befriended Luca in Chrono Trigger. Clue 2. Emily Deschanel and David Boreanaz co-starred in this crime procedural comedy drama.
Buzz.
Yes, Matt?
Oh my god. I know what it is, but I have forgotten what the first clue was. It was what did she say? Fuck, I fucked up.
Huh.
Yep, I'm going to have to time you out on that one, Matt.
What was the first clue?
I shall reread the clue.
Hey, wait.
Oh,
Buzz.
Yes,
Let Johnny-
yes, Johnny.
Robones.
It is Robones.
It's fucking Robo. Like, as soon as my brain said Bones, I was like, I know this. I already knew Robo, and then I said Buzz, and then the first one fled my brain. My brain betrayed me.
Betrayed like you betrayed Johnny. What karma? How quickly it comes.
Mm-hmm.
Round 3.
Karma's apportioned by the cosmos to the next life. So this is karma for something he did in his previous life.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I did die when you were gone, and then I was resurrected.
Oh.
It's true. I had to bring him back to life with my
Ooh.
necromancy.
You wasted like a level 6 spell on that?
Yeah. It's all right. I'll just memorize it again tomorrow.
Speaking of necromancy, that is maybe my favorite thing in Oblivion, or not Oblivion, in Skyrim, is raising, killing someone and then raising them as a zombie, and then having them kill their friends. Yeah.
I like turning into a werewolf and just eating everyone. Clue 1.
Wait, isn't this clue 3?
Well, I mean, technically it's clue 5,
I
but
see.
it's
Okay.
round 3. Clue 1.
Round 3, clue 1. Okay.
Game Arts developed this title for the Sega Saturn in 1997, but it wasn't until 1999 that it made its debut in North America on the PlayStation. Clue 2. This buxom Betazoid used her telepathic powers in her role as counselor on the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, Buzz.
Yes, Matt. I heard Matt first. I'm sorry, Johnny.
Grandiana Troy.
All
Grandiana
accepted.
Troy.
It's Grandiana Troy.
Yay,
That
I
was-
got another one. I'm the best.
Almost simultaneous buzzing, but I did hear Matt first.
No way, Johnny was way behind me.
Next round. Clue 1. This phrase is used by the Hypello in Final Fantasy X to entice clients to mount their lumbering mammals. Clue 2. In Grandia, this creature makes its home
Buzz.
in Sue's hair. Yes, Matt.
Ride Z Shoe Puff Puff.
It is Ride the Shoe Puff Puff. Excellent work. I
I'm
also
the
would
best
have accepted
at this game now.
Ride Zishu Puffy. Next
Johnny
round.
looks mad. John, why are you mad?
Because
What are you
he's
mad
getting
about?
trounced.
That's my whole experience in this fucking game.
He probably suspects that I gave you the answers when he was kicked out of the Zoom chat, but that was not the
Yeah.
case, Johnny. Next round. In Baldur's Gate, this is the name given to natural-born werewolves. Clue 2. Maurice Sendak wrote and illustrated this 1963 picture book about a rambunctious young boy named Max.
Buzz.
Yes, Matt.
Wolf where the wild things are.
It is Wolf Where the Wild Things Are.
I just got it, and he buzzed.
Yay.
Next
Matt's
round.
doing great. Matt's gonna win. This is the best game ever. My attitude
Clue
on this game
1.
changes depending on how well I'm doing.
Jack Black starred in this 2003 comedy as a down-on-his-luck guitarist. Clue 2. This sea salt licking lad is Sora's nobody.
Buzz.
Yes, Matt.
School of Roxas.
It is School of Roxas.
Oh, I thought it was High Fidelitas? No.
I haven't actually
High
seen School of Rock.
Fidelitas would be a great match.
I've not actually seen School of Rock, but my friend Paul recently added it to my watch list on Amazon and told me I had to
wow.
watch it. And then I never did.
All right. Matt is virtually sweeping this game.
And only one of them is because I booted Johnny from the call.
Only one of them is because you cheated. Next round. Clue 1. In Oblivion, the Daedric Prince Hircine demands the blood of this beast, traditionally associated with purity and virginity. Clue 2. Tines or spikes are often used to assist diners in eating this dish, made entirely of one cereal grain. Any takers? Any takers?
I mean, I've got the first one. I don't.
I did write the second one in a pretty obtuse kind of way.
One cereal grain.
Yeah, you probably don't even realize that this is a cereal grain, but that's what it's classified as. Let me try to rephrase it.
Okay.
Tines or spikes are often used to assist diners in eating this dish, made of one lovely yellow thing what grows from the ground. It's very sometimes
Buzz.
Yes, Matt.
What? That was like a 3-second
Unicorn on the
delay.
All right.
cob.
Sorry, I have to give it to Johnny. I think
Can't
that
give it to Johnny. I already said it.
I
Yeah, I
saw his
didn't
mouth
answer.
move, and you know what? I'll
It's-
give you each a point for that. How about that?
No, I didn't answer. Don't give me pity points. And Matthew gets that. It's
Oh,
fine.
I get pity points.
Sorry, Johnny. Johnny, you
Only
need to
Matt
speak up
gets
a
pity
little bit when
points.
you're buzzing, because I can barely
Okay.
hear you,
That
I think
was-
is the problem.
I think that was just a case of us both buzzing at the same time and you picking me over him because I'm the best.
All right. So let's see.
Boy, that was a tough one. Like corn on the cob. The
Yeah.
way you phrased that. I mean, no, it was corn, but like I was like, what is a like? I'm sitting here like some sort of fucking corn beef
Muesli?
hash? No, that's not made only of corn.
Corn itself is a cereal grain. You learn something new every day. Round 8.
That makes sense
Still
because I
ti-
eat my corneos all the time. I love corneos.
Round 8. In Final Fantasy X, investing in this merchant's shop will net the player lower prices.
What's the
Clue
stupid
2.
name?
This American rapper's first studio album, Invasion of Privacy, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and earned her the first Grammy for Best Rap Album awarded to a solo female artist.
Buzz,
Yes, Matt?
Nicki Minaj.
It is not Janicki Minaj.
I tried. That's as good as I could come up with. Johnny,
Johnny,
it's all
any
yours,
guesses?
buddy.
I don't know this, unfortunately. I can't remember his name.
The answer we were looking for was Cardi B.
Oh.
Waka. Oh, duh.
Owaka, yeah. O apostrophe AKA.
Cardi B.
I just kind of picked a female rapper and tried to come up with a name. And for some reason, I was like, is there a person named Janik in that game? There probably is.
I like Janicki Minaj.
I feel
Would've
like
worked
Janik
great.
is a name in something. You know what I mean?
If either answer was correct, it would have been a great answer, Smush. Final round. Clue 1. This slang term was first recorded in 1835 as an Americanism used to describe Dutch or French Canadians. Clue 2. This equine creature from Scottish folklore was sang about in the 2004 In Exile title, The Bard's Tale.
Buzz.
Yes, Matt.
Oh, fuck.
Knucklebee!
It is Knucklebee.
I even got the Canada question, John. I ruined you this time.
Yeah, after an
Literally,
amazing
that one was
upset
made just
round,
for you.
Matt has picked up 6 points and Johnny only 2.
That means Johnny's winning by a lot, though. Let's
Let's see what that does to our overall standings.
You were beating me by like 20 points.
That puts Johnny's overall points to 23. Jim is at 18. And Matt, what's going to happen? Drum roll, please. 17.
Oh my God. Jim has not been here for 2 weeks and I still can't catch him. I quit. I hate this game. I don't want to play anymore. Goodbye.
Wow.
And that was Smush Mouth. Thanks for
Worst game
playing
ever
the game.
I hate it. Listeners, write in and tell us that you hate this game. I'm kidding. I love it. I did good this time.
Listeners love it because they can play along.
See, the difference this week between the other weeks that we played the game is that this week, I'm drinking.
You know what? You
that
might be onto
unlocks-
something there.
Yeah, that unlocks your trivia knowledge.
Knucklebee.
I was actually going to say Acadia Knucklebee.
No, that would have been wrong. It was Canuckleovy. I was a little nervous to use that question because I wasn't sure if Canuck was considered like really offensive to your people.
It is not. It is not. I mean, don't forget that the team here in Vancouver are the Canucks. Although that isn't to say there isn't a history of terrible team names, but that one is not offensive.
Well, with one more Answer Smash round to go, I'm sorry, Smush Mouth, Answer Smash, don't Google that. That's nothing. This is an original game I came up with all by myself. It's still anyone's game. There are 9 points on the line, and nobody is 9 points ahead. So there you have it.
That's a great, lovely place for me to be. So let's see.
I think you're pretty comfortable, Johnny. Yeah.
Yeah. I just was off my game today, and there seems to be
probably because of Matt's
delay.
Vicious mind games of kicking you out of the chat.
I thought Jim had like signed into the account and knocked him off or something.
That would have been a devious trick by Jim, but not one that I'd put past him necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Jim does like to be devious and tricky.
It's tricky to be a Jim. To be a Jim as sneak as him is tricky.
I also liked Mel Godrach's magic trick where she made the gymnastics horse disappear. And her
that was pretty
pageantry.
Great.
Her pageantry with a tarp was amazing.
Yeah, I think it's a great season. Have you watched it before, or?
Yeah, I definitely have seen this season. But I'm fine. I don't know. You seem to not want to rewatch them that much, right? You said you don't
no, I rewatch them all the time.
Oh, okay.
Every day, all day.
Oh, well, never mind then. Yeah,
I don't usually rewatch stuff, but it has been such a crutch comfort show for me lately that I have watched all of them more than once, I would say, except for the current season.
You punks ready for the quest log?
Heck yeah!
Yeah. I sure am. I love a quest log. So what happened last time? We had that argument with Kalar.
Yeah, we ended with the bridge destroyed, and we decided we have to move on to the next crossing, Boriskir Bridge, which is a 10-day away.
Ooh, that's a while.
So we do make that march, and we stop after 10 days at the Troll Claw Forest. And they set up another little flaming fist camp. So you can complete some of your quests. But a correction from last week, Johnny and I were wrong. And Jim was right. You cannot go back.
I guess it is a 10-day. And you don't want to spend a whole 10-day. I mean, that would be a 20-day.
Yeah.
Walking there
it only
and
takes
back.
like 3 days to drive across the United States. You're going a long way if you're going 10 days.
I don't know if you've noticed, Vanessa. They don't have cars.
Oh.
So
Well, it only takes
set up...
32 days to walk across the United States if you never stop.
Wow.
You should probably stop every
You would
day.
die.
Yeah. Yeah, you
Didn't
will.
stop. I don't think you can stay awake for 32 days without doing irreparable
I don't
damage
think
to
you
yourself.
I don't think you can march 32 days in a row without stopping.
I couldn't march
Anywho.
2 days in a row.
There's another little flaming fist camp set up, and we learn that Kalar's forces have taken the Boriskir Bridge. This, by the way, is the bridge that Vanessa suggested we stop at in our very first chunker of this series of Siege of Dragonspear.
It's not my fault you guys
That's
are
okay.
slow.
We're slow, especially me. I am the slowest. And that's okay.
We decide to scout the way ahead here in the Troll Claw Forest, and we find some trolls.
Yay, trolls!
There's a troll cave. Remember that trolls are annoying, and you can only kill them with fire or acid. Otherwise, they just keep getting back up.
Well,
Why
fortunately,
is that?
my
What's that based
lead
on?
character has flaming arrows, so they always... As long as they get a bit of fire damage, I don't think they have to be killed by fire. They just have to have some fire. Or maybe it is the last. I can't remember. But I always use fire arrows anyway, so they're toast. Because fire arrows are
plus
good.
3 arrows this time, which I had not seen before.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I have any plus 3s.
Yeah,
I just have
I
a
only
plus
found
2 arrow
like
of fire.
20. I was shocked. Anyway, there's a troll cave with some trolls, and we can run through there. But the main thrust of this section is that we run into Jahiera and a new character, Voglin.
Jahiera.
Yeah, like Shakira, I get it.
She
from
could heal
last
like
game.
this.
She was Gorion's buddies that we went to initially after Gorion died. Jahiera and Kaled, her husband, who is not with her. Instead, she's with this man Voglin, who is, I don't know how to put it other than to say that he is thirsty. He's so thirsty. Every woman he comes across, he hits on.
Oh.
I love him. He's
Her entangle makes me feel restless. Oh, Jahiera. It's Jahiera.
Jahiera tells us that Kaled
Jahiera.
is at the bridge fort, which is under siege by the Crusade. And at
So-
this point, you can recruit Jahiera and or Voglin. I did recruit Voglin. He's a bard, and I like him very much. He's very fun. He learns spells. He throws axes. He's got.
He just doesn't work for my team setup. I wish I had more slots. If I had more slots, he might have a place. But now he does not.
I didn't take him either. I am so in love with my goblin that she really kind of fills my.
Oh,
my
yeah.
Johnny.
I didn't get the goblin. I forgot.
You can't go back and get him.
Yeah. Oh, well, next
Hey
time
Johnny,
I
learned
game.
something very important from I believe Galani, maybe on the Discord, told me that Glint is both gay and romanceable.
Yeah, I thought he was just, I guess I'm oblivious. He was like, I just wanted to say what a great time I have traveling with you. I'm like, yeah, buddy, I have a great time traveling with you too. Yeah, I just think you're really special. I think you're a special guy too, buddy. And I didn't realize.
Do you want a kiss? No,
He
what?
didn't. I didn't realize he was hitting on me, which is very much like me in real life. So
I know.
Yeah, I
but
was gonna
I
say.
know he's not a beefy boy, but maybe you should put yourself in Glint's shoes. He's a real Johnny.
Well, he's got
You're
got
the beefy boy here.
Yeah, he's got he looks cute. He's adorable. He's definitely, I would say, of all the romanceable characters in any of these games we've played, he's the most of my type because he's just a big nerd. Or okay, a little nerd, but he is a big dweeb in terms of
Listen.
the bigness is personality wise.
Everyone knows that I'm a huge advocate for dating very small men. They take up less room. They cost less to care for. You don't have to feed them as much, and you can shop for them in the junior section,
How
which is
dare you.
much cheaper.
Man, Vanessa, you got to watch that Dungeons and Dragons movie. I don't want to say anything else, but you got to watch that movie.
All right.
You got to watch that movie.
I really want to. I want to see it, but now...
Ooh,
Friend
it's
wants
on
to go to the-
VOD now. Can
Is
we
it?
do it as our April bonus? May bonus?
Well, it's
No.
May.
Oh, no,
and
it's Vanessa's month.
yeah, it's Vanessa's month.
It's Vanessa's special month. Although, if I choose it as my bonus, I can use some of the funds from our little fund pool to rent it.
It's true.
It's true.
I'll consider
Anywho.
it.
Oh, I want to do something fun. I mean, not that wouldn't be fun, but you know.
All
Save
right,
that for
I do
Matthew's
have an
month.
idea for something fun.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think I have anything else lined up, so I'm not sure. But am I not way out? Am I after Vanessa?
Yeah, you're next month. You're June.
Yeah. Well, then maybe we'll do it in June. So, did anybody recruit Jahiera?
I
Yes.
sure did.
Why y'all like that Jahiera so much?
Oh, because
Oh,
she
she's an old
is
friend.
a martial combatant and also a healer. And so I like having two healers because then the people are throwing around heals all the time.
Actually didn't keep her very, very long. I tended to recruit everyone just a little bit and then send them back to camp.
You don't have to recruit
Yeah, I
them to
always
send
do
them back
that.
to camp. They'll just go back to camp.
I'm always
They'll wait
worried
for
that
you.
they won't. That
Me
they'll
too.
get
I'm
also
mad
getting-
and be like, F you.
I mean,
I'm
that
getting
did happen in the
sweet
last game for
Chivos.
sure.
Every time I recruit one of these people, I get a sweet Chivo. So
So
You know who I
after
really miss is Zan, that like really depressed wizard I
yeah,
was in love
I
with.
never got him, and I didn't recruit him, and he was like, "Well, fuck you," and left and never came back.
Yeah.
I'm real bummed out. So anyway, next up, we head from the Trollclaw Forest over to the Borskir Bridge Crusader camp, and they will not let us in.
I
Why
didn't.
not?
I went the other way first. I did go the other way first, but it doesn't really matter.
Well, they won't let you in because they've had people try to infiltrate as like fake crusaders before, so they're wary. But they do tell you, the person in charge of the gate tells you that you can kind of ask like, okay, but what can I do to get in? And they tell us that one of the lieutenants, Lieutenant Karm's nephew, Karam, is gone missing. Mm-hmm. And so maybe if we find him, we'll be allowed into the camp.
And when I recruited Jahiera, she's like, hey, this is why I didn't go to the north directly. She's like, before we get there, there's a waystone you can find east of here. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll go east of here.
A wardstone.
Wardstone, that's right. And that way she can sneak in directly to where her husband is. But it is at an ancient temple of Baal.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that's why I went the other way first, because Jahiera told me to.
Yes, there is a teleport circle outside of the Crusader camp that will teleport us into the bridge fort, but the wardstone is missing. But they can both be found, both being the nephew Karam and the wardstone, can both be found in the same place, the ruined temple in the Forest of Worms.
Worms.
I don't know why it's worms plural. There was definitely only one worm here.
So this is my experience with that map. It's like, oh, okay, there's a spider cave. Let me explore some more.
Did you do
there's
the spider cave and get fight the giant rhino beetle?
Yeah, and I got that.
Fun.
I made some armor with his scales. Mm-hmm. But I also found, I found this dragon. I was like, ooh, I guess this seems like a bonus boss or something. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to go through this cave. And I was like, but where's this temple? I can't find this temple. It can't be past that dragon, because that dragon is like level 1,000,000 and will kill me instantly.
Yep.
But it turns out you can sneak past that. Well, not even sneak. You can just walk quickly past that dragon and it won't notice you. So
it noticed me, but I definitely was able to run right past it. So in the forest, there's a rocky hill with a cave. And as Johnny said, the first room in that cave has a green dragon, which you can fight and kill, or you can, in my case, I saw it and was like, nope, and just ran the other way. And it did not follow me.
Yeah,
like
that
I
you
killed
don't.
it.
Well, I'm playing in God mode, essentially, so
I'm interested. That'll change a little bit at the end of this temple.
Yes, it will.
Really?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So I ran past it. Johnny ran past it. Next, you find some caves with some bugbears. And, I mean, what can you say? You kill all the bugbears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been hired by the people who are now taking over the... Hold on, I just got to turn off notifications on my phone.
That's fine. So we kill them. They've been hired by the people that are in this ruined temple. And once we get to the temple, we realize it's a temple of Baal.
That's Daddy.
You do find that
Daddy.
You find Karam and a couple of crusaders are locked in cages. There's a switch here, and if you pull the switch, it will shoot spikes into the cage and kill them. Did anybody do this?
No,
me neither.
But there's I guess like a warden lady right outside, and she does attack. Well, first I talked to the crazy lady there, who is, I mean, it's not, she's been like gaslit and blinded, and you find out that the lady that's running this place totally ate her eyes, which is real gross.
Yeah.
You find her name is Medell. And she is a priestess of Baal. Remember, this is a ruined temple of Baal, but it has been taken over by followers of the god Sirik. Sirik is the god who killed Baal, and they have their leader, Zeatar, has been torturing this priestess and ate her eyeballs and did all sorts of shit. She tells us that there's a dragon lady named Zeatar that we need to find, and that's what we do. We go through the temple.
But there's a jailer here. And not Zeatar, there's some other lady that's just like in the next room that I fought. And as I was doing this fight, Karam comes out.
Yeah.
He just wanders out and then fights her and dies. I didn't notice, so this will come into play as to me getting delayed an hour or two trying to figure out what the hell happened.
I had a similar experience, Johnny. I don't know what jailer you're talking about, but as you pass Medell and head deeper into the temple, there are a bunch of cultists around. And if you fight them, which one group of cultists, if they see you, will fight you no matter what you say. Some of them you can talk your way past, but one group will just fight you. And as soon as combat initiated with this group, Karam and one of the Crusaders just teleported out of their cage somehow and came and attacked me.
It is a glitch.
And I had to kill them. I had to kill him.
Yeah, that's what happened to me too.
He is carrying a thing called like Karam's badge,
a badge.
I think.
Yeah, he has a
it's his
badge.
So you can use the badge to complete the quest. You go back, you say, well, he's dead. And
that
give
is
them the badge.
if you noticed that you were fighting him and say you don't, that badge is just going to be...
I restarted a couple of times because I was I realized something had gone wrong, but I could not deal with this bug. There was no way. Reading guides and doing the notes, I saw that you definitely can save this guy, but it just did not work for me.
What happened to me was that I did not notice that I killed him and that he was there. And I went through and had to come back here and figure out, like, I was trying to find him and he wasn't in there and I had to do some Googling because I went back. I was like, oh, he's dead, because I went back to those cages later and it was just one of the three guys and he just has
one
nothing.
of them stays. What a weird
Yeah,
bug.
and you open the door and he just stands there and he just says something like, "Let us go." Okay, but the door's open. Go talk to the guy back at the camp. And I go talk to the guy back at the camp and I'm like, "Oh, Karam is dead." And he's like, "Yeah, I don't believe you." I'm like, "Oh, you don't have any proof of it." And so eventually I just wandered around until I found the badge. It was on the floor. So that's how that happened for me. It was a little but that's the first real bug that I've encountered in this game.
Do you not loot everyone you kill?
I mean, I don't take it with me. But I have I don't know if this happens on PC. There's a button you can push where it shows everything on the floor. And I just thought it was a shield. It looked kind of like a shield. So I didn't click on it. It didn't have the you know how magic items have a little purple background. So I picked those up. But this just looked like a shield. So I didn't really investigate further.
Well, lucky for me, I saw it and picked it up. But eventually, we find Zeatar, and she is a Dragonborn, I think they're called. It's like a half dragon lady. I think she has wings, though, which I don't think Dragonborn do.
They can. I think they can have wings.
I think so. Anyway.
Maybe it's just a, backpack.
But she's not happy to see us, and she is much less happy to see you if you killed that green dragon, because that green dragon is her mom.
Yeah.
Oh.
Vanessa killed her mom.
Yeah. And she was like, "I'm Dragonborn." And I'm like, "Oh, from the dragon that I killed out there?" And she started screaming that she didn't believe me. And I was like, "Oh, well, I have these scales in my pocket. Check it out." So basically it's like her mom's hair. And I'm like, killed her mom. She didn't love it.
You know, we didn't talk about that. You remember the tower, Durag's tower? Like the whole thing with the hair and stuff. If you go upstairs and there's ghosts and there's another weird guy.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Did we? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Did. Never mind then.
So either way, you do have to kill this lady. And she has the key to the cells, which are useless because there's a bug in the game. But, well, you can still use them to free the priestess. There are some notes around about another priestess, like the head priestess of this cult of Sirik, who has locked herself in a ritual room and been in there for days. So you have to kind of head back towards the prison area, the cage area.
That fight with, what's the name of the lady we just killed? Zeatar. That was tough. I had to do like the stand outside, throw fireballs into that room, like trigger it. That took me 3 or 4 attempts, I think, maybe 5.
Wow.
Got wiped out a lot.
I've been playing this on easy mode now. Like, I'm not even bothering anymore. I'm
I-
on story mode because I do want some challenge, and I do fucking die sometimes. But so I'm not playing on a story mode, but I don't want to spend 100 hours on this expansion. I don't want to.
See, I really enjoy the combat, and I don't mind having to try a few times to get it right, but it does mean that it takes you a lot longer to play through. But it's like, I don't know, this is the way I want to play it. I do enjoy
I imagine
playing
that
it
it's
that
more
way.
fun and like strategic on the harder modes. For me, it is very much just stand there and kill everything. Except for a few things like that lich we talked about last week where I had to like go find his phylactery, which was super fun.
I
Vanessa, were
like
you gonna
story
say
mode
something?
because I like stories.
Yeah.
That's fine. Oh, actually, I was I looked up the Metacritic for this Siege of Dragonspear, and it was like 70 out of 100. People were kind of like, it's too old. It feels too much like the original Baldur's Gate, and that
70 out of 100 is a great score.
that's
above average.
That is okay. Maybe if you were actually grading that, but a 70 out of 100 is
Yeah,
You know that.
game
I know
grade
that.
inflation is real.
Yeah, you know
Yes. I mean, I see 70 out of 100 and think I'll probably enjoy that game.
At any rate, so I was reading the reviews, and they're like, "Oh, and they included a story difficulty, but no one's gonna use that." I'm like, "Really?" Because 2 out of the 4 people who are playing this game are using that story difficulty. And there's just a lot of weird comments like, who would want to play a game this old? It's like, yeah, but it fits in really nicely with the original game. If you're going back to play the game, I think people would find it worse if it was like a modern, totally different.
Yeah. If they
that would be very
modernized it a lot,
strange.
people would be mad. That doesn't make sense. This is good. I like this expansion a lot. I think it's fantastic.
I think it's better than the main game, at least for what I like out of games. But
Well, it's got years to perfect.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
20 years of game design on its back. Like,
Well, and it also
Yeah.
pulls a lot from the other Infinity Engine Dungeons
Right.
and Dragons games that came after. You got to remember that Baldur's Gate was the first, and that there were like 6 of them.
I remember. There were. There was Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and then Icewind Dale and Neverwinter Nights and all that.
So
Don't lecture me
we
as
do
if I
deal
don't
with
know about
the-
Infinity Engines.
So before we go into the ritual chamber,
Yep.
you can deal with this priestess of Baal, and I would like to know how you all handled this. You have got a lot of options here. You can kill her, you can leave her, you can free her.
I'll
What'd y'all
tell
do?
you what I did. I set her free, and she was like, "Oh, sweet. Now I can go murder everyone." And I was like, "No, I'm freeing you so you can go make amends for every terrible thing you've ever done." And she's like, "But that's not my jam. My jam is to murder people and be a priestess of murder." And I told her, "Listen, I'm the Baal spawn. I'm the child of Baal. You know the Baal's dead. I'm basically your god now." And she's like, "Yeah, I gotta do what you, Princess Baal, say because you're the Baal spawn, pretty princess. So I guess I'll go try to make amends for killing people. That seems really weird, like weird request from you, but I'll do it." And that's what she went off to do.
I did the same thing. Johnny, what did you do?
I did the exact same
Wow,
thing.
we
I'm
suck.
sorry. Yeah.
Well, I guess the other options are kind of boring. Like, one is that you kill her, big fucking
Murder a
whoop.
blind woman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the other option is that you leave her there to, I guess, starve to death. That's basically a murder.
She eats
a
rats
much
and things.
worse
She'll be
murder.
okay.
Yeah. She likes it.
So we head into the ritual chamber and ritual chamber, and we find a Neothelid. It's like a big old squid monster.
Yay.
It's big though. It looks good. Big
Yeah,
old
the
monster.
priestess, does she get eaten by it? Something
No,
weird
she's
happens
in a
with
back
that.
room. There's somebody in here that gets one. There's
Yeah.
2 people in here when you walk in, and one gets killed and one runs away.
Now, that fight with Zyatar was super hard. This, like, just leaving it on AI, they mopped the floor with this thing.
Really?
Well, I have this wand that I gave to Glint, since Glint is a thief/cleric, and it uses like holy fire, and that just destroyed that
It
tentacle
also
monster.
summoned like ghost swords, which I found to be fucking annoying.
They were annoying. I agree.
I did get one of those ghost swords. Yeah. Like the spoiler, last boss of KOTOR 2.
Yeah.
Is a ghost sword?
That was so bad.
It's
I didn't
3
finish that
floating swords. It's the last boss of the game.
Game was too broken
Yeah.
for Matthew.
It's pretty broken.
So we find this Neolithid and we kill it, and then in a back room you do find this high priestess, and again she talks a bit. She's talking about how she's been hearing voices, and they have commanded her to summon these monsters from the void. I mean the Neolithid basically, and so you have to kill her too. I think that you can like cure her madness, but then you still have to kill her. I don't know. I just killed her.
Yeah, I feel like I did do something like that. Like Glint was there and was healing her a Jahiera or something, but then she was like, "Oh, you cured me, and now I know what I did, and I have to kill you anyways," or something like that.
Yeah. I think that I had my my little goblin cured her.
Okay.
Cured her.
Kill on.
I pulled a Johnny here and did not realize that she had dropped that ward stone that I needed. So I went all the way back to the camp. And I turned and come around all the way back because I was like, "Where's that fucking ward stone, motherfucker?" Anyway, so we kill her, and that's it. We've got our badge to get into the camp. We've got our ward stone to get into the bridge fort, and we did it. Yay.
Yay!
So we head back to the Crusader camp, and we are now allowed entry. Either because you saved what's-his-face or you presented his badge, which is, I guess, what we all did. And you can kind of scout around and talk to everybody, and, like, people will try to order you around, and you can...
I didn't actually go here first because, like, well, I figured that it was either or. So I was like, well, I'm going to skip this camp and just go to the fort. But then basically, as soon as you get there, they make you go back to the camp. And that's when I had to go and... That's when I discovered I missed something back at the temple because I couldn't prove that the guy was dead.
Yeah. So you went back. You had to go back to the temple all under-leveled because you got level drained.
Yeah, but fortunately, like, there was barely any fights. But yeah, let's talk about that. That stinks.
Well, we're not there yet.
Okay.
Because in the camp, while there's not a ton to do in the camp, there's a couple things you can do. One of them is that you can just kill everybody in this camp and save the bridge fort. You'll skip all of the story stuff in the bridge fort, but you can just walk through the gates and murder everybody.
And why not?
Do that, but I did pull a bunch of people from the front, and I killed about half of the fort about half of the camp before I then went to the bridge fort and then did the whole fight. So it was a little easier for me. But you can also find a good friend of mine whom I murdered and is somehow still alive.
Michael Dorn.
Dorn is in this camp. He is caged, and he demands that you free him. Did everybody free Dorn?
I did.
I
then
did,
I was like,
but
hey.
not until I was done with the whole crusade quest because
There's no
didn't want
guards
to let
here,
him out
so-
and have him go on a rampage.
I mean, I would have appreciated that, but instead he just goes back to camp. What a loser. So next up, at least for me, I took the teleportation circle into the bridge fort, and you talk to Khalid. That's
DJ
Chiquita's
Khaled.
husband. Yep, DJ Khaled. He tells us, this to me was really silly. He tells us that the Crusaders are after the bridge fort's supplies, and I was kind of like, aren't they here to stop us from crossing the bridge? What do they care about your fucking supplies?
They
Well,
want
an army-
supplies.
Weird little side plot where I was like, I don't need another reason.
An army
these
marches
people
on
to
its
be here.
stomach, Matthew. You know, it's realistic that they have to think about provisions and have things like rations and things.
It just
so
seemed like an excuse to make us go walk around and talk to people. He's like, go talk to everybody about the supplies. Like, okay, guy, cool.
And then there's someone who's like, so when we surrender, should I like burn all these supplies? I'm like, we're not going to surrender. And they're like, yeah, sure, we're not going to surrender. So if we surrender, should I burn? Yep. And I guess that would mean way more people in the final battle.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm still
Guess
still a
what,
little
lads?
confused about that. You surrendered?
I surrender.
What the
What? Well, we'll get there when we get to that
Yeah,
part.
we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
So we walk around the bridge fort and we talk to some people. There is a blacksmith there named Jeg who will turn your dragon scales and your giant rhino beetle into armor or shields.
Yay!
I made some dragon armor. It was still not as fucking good as my goddamn Ankeg armor that I found in like the third area of the first game. Can I get some new armor, please? The rhino beetle armor was equal to the Ankeg armor, so I traded it out just to have a different look on my guy. But I put the Ankeg armor on Minsk, and now I'm always confused because I see Minsk fighting, and I'll be like, there's my guy. And then realize that it's not my guy. Like, where's my guy? Speaking of, Johnny, we kind of skipped this. Vanessa, we know, killed that dragon. Did you kill the dragon?
No, I snuck by it.
You didn't go back and kill it?
No.
I finished off the area, left the cave, saved the game, put it on story mode, walked back in, and killed the dragon. Because I want that sweet experience.
All the, like, when I was reading about, because I was trying to figure out where this camp, where this badge was that I needed, everyone was talking about maximizing XP, which is definitely something you can do. And I think that if you want to kill that on normal or harder difficulties, you probably do have to go back and kill the dragon to get to a necessary level. But I'm only playing on normal, so I don't have to kill every single piece of XP in this game. So it's fine. I thought sneaking by it was just fine.
I mean, it was, and that's a fun idea, and I'm glad that you did it. I did basically did the same thing, but then kind of, it wasn't even like I'm not like power leveling. I was like, I bet that dragon's worth a lot of fucking XP, and I want it, and I'm glad I did it. I killed it. So after we do that and talk to a few more people, we go and talk to the Bridgefort's wizard. And he, as we're talking to him, finally loses his hold on the wards that have been protecting the castle. And the enemy teleports in a boulder that has a bunch of, like, runes on it. And it level drains us. This annoyed me.
It does make your level go down to, like, level 7. I think I was level 10 by this point. Which is frustrating.
I don't know how you're level 10. I think I'm level 9.
I don't know exactly.
250,000 XP to get to the next level. Fuck you.
I
I did a bunch of, I was going to talk about this later, but I'll mention it quickly. In the next area, we do a bunch of side quests, and as I completed each one, they all were worth like 6,000 XP, and then I realized that's 1,000 XP a piece, so I only have to do 250 of these.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyway, so we are told by the wizard, whose name I've forgotten, that if we want to, undo what this boulder is doing, we have to go find the arcane scroll that was used to summon it, and that is in the Crusader camp.
And I do want that. So after I went back and got my stupid badge, I finally get into the camp. And there's some fun stuff in the camp here, like the did you sit through the speech the one guy was giving? That was neat. I forget the name. He was like the big bad guy of Borskier Bridge.
Oh,
big
yeah.
Bad bionic
I
boy.
didn't write the names down, sorry.
It's okay.
I went back to the Red Wizard. He's the Red Wizard. His name is Vichand. And the scroll is just like on the ground next to him, or like in a barrel or something.
It's in a so
you got a lot of options here. You can just intimidate this guy into giving you the scroll. And then it's funny, as you are leaving, if you do not intimidate him again, he will immediately go and rat you out. But you do have the option. You do have
What
the
a
option
nerd.
of being like, and if you say anything, I'll kill you, and then he won't rat you out. Or you have the third option, which is what I did, which is where you go, fuck you and kill him.
So here... Oh, you go ahead.
I'm sorry. Because I'm a sorcerer, I guess, I could just kind of sweet talk him into giving it to me. So I was just like, hey, bud, I see you do magic. I do magic. I'd really like to see the scroll of how you did this really neat spell. And he was like, why? And I said, well, maybe I can learn something and then be as cool as you are at magic. And he's like, okay, you can have it. Just bring it back when you're done.
With me, Safana, first I start talking to him, and Safana says, I haven't got to pick any pockets in a while, so maybe I could reach into that man's back pocket and see what I can find. So, unfortunately, I had not leveled up her pickpocket skill. So I did have to go all the way back to the Flaming Fist camp and buy a potion of master thievery. And I came back... came back again. She was full drunk on that, and she did pick his pockets. And I was like, okay, this was just a wand. It's not super useful. Let's see what else he's got. He's got some other thing that wasn't very like a healing potion. Okay, and then it's like there's nothing more that you need from his pockets. I'm like, but where's the scroll? She told me to have her pick his pocket. Why would it not be in his pocket? And then I opened the crate next to him, and it was just there. I didn't have to do any of that. So that's what I did. I didn't kill him. I talked to him a little bit, but I couldn't convince him to give me the scroll. So, yeah.
I don't know why you would still have Safana in your party when you have Glint. You don't need two thieves. They're fucking useless.
Yeah, I do. They're great. Glint is not as good at opening or detecting traps. Or no, he's good at detecting traps. She's better at hiding in shadows and stuff. And and
I
so
never use that. I really want to, but I never do.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I said that I had cleared out about half the camp. This is when I decided to do that. So for me, as I was heading back to the teleport circle, I decided to clear out a chunk of the camp. And then when I got back to the bridge fort, they were like, fuck it. Great job. We made a copy of the scroll. You took too long. You didn't have to do it at all. Yeah, you didn't have to do this. Fucking assholes.
Huh. They didn't. I took a while. I mean, I went back to camp and back, I went to all these different places and back like twice, and they didn't tell me I took too long. So I have no idea how you took too long.
Yeah, I think it's because I got in a fight because because you can kill Vichand and nobody notices.
Oh, okay.
Nobody notices that. But I went back to the entrance and was like, I'll wipe out some of these guards and just make it easier on myself when I have to kill the rest of them. And I guess they decided that they didn't like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, you head back into the fort and you get unlevel drained, which is great. And it's time to break the siege. You've got a lot of options here. You can surrender. You can fight. You can go around and kill everybody yourself and not fight. Vanessa.
Yeah.
Tell us about your gutless surrender.
My gutless surrender worked out great. What I did is I sort of sniffed around. I talked to the person who was in charge of the supplies, and she was like, hey, I have this great plan. What we're going to do is like surrender, but then I'm just going to destroy all of the supplies. So we'll get to leave peacefully, and then they'll come in here, and then they'll realize that everything that they want to get out of this fort is gone. But by the time they know it, will be gone, and everyone can live their lives happily with minimal blood loss. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea to me. I kind of tried to go to the camp to talk to the main guy there, and he was like, hey, how about you just lower the bridge for us, and then we'll go in there and kill everyone. So it didn't seem like that was a good way to negotiate. So eventually what I had to do is just convince the people outside to let the people through. And then once the gates came down, they were like, okay, we're letting you go. And it gave me like
6 different opportunities to say, just kidding, I actually do want to fight you. Like, it really wanted me to fight these people and not surrender. But I was like, nope, we're doing this peacefully. They're civilians here. I don't want to risk their lives. So, yeah, I just left with everyone. And then they, I guess, later went into the fort and was like, oh, this sucks.
Wow.
That's what I did.
Johnny, did you assault the siege?
Yeah, so I went back and talked to Carwin and was like, Kaywin?
Caleb?
No, the girl with the arrow
Corwin.
girl. Corwin. And I was like, okay, so we're going to... I did talk to Caleb. I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the camp, get the Flaming Fist to march. And so when you hear fighting, you're going to join in. So I talked to Corwin, and I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'm going to march with you. We'll march through this camp. And so we get there. I started fighting, and as soon as we got to like where Baragost or whatever is, no, that's a city, but whatever the name of that guy is, the leader of the camp, I did my first attempt. It took a couple of attempts. I used Cloud Kill on the center, which did wipe out pretty much everyone in the camp,
Nice.
all the leaders, but everyone walked through it. Like all my allies, like then afterwards walked through it and all died. So
Dummies.
Cloud Kill is not a good strategy when there's AI NPCs around, because they will walk into it and they will die. That is a very powerful spell.
I feel like I did something similar. I thought that I was there and they lowered the bridge and I just charged across the bridge and started killing people.
For me, they were going to blow up the bridge, so I had to.
Well, no, it's the other bridge that they're going to blow up. They drop the drawbridge and start fighting the siege, and then the Flaming Fists come from behind. Maybe I circled around.
You might have started, because you have the option of starting with Kaled or starting with Corwin. So I started with Corwin. So you probably started with Kaled. So it's a little different.
Yeah. I mean, the Flaming Fist still did the assault, but I just ran across the bridge and started murdering people. And it was great. I mean, it already killed a good handful of them. None of the leaders, but none of them were hard. Like, I went after the mage first, because that's what you always have to do in this game.
Yes.
And yeah, we slaughtered them. It was great. I mean, fuck these people.
Because that mage will hold person and charm person and just do all these. Charm person's the worst, because my people are real powerful. But that does remind me, oh yeah, I should be using hold person and charm person all the time too, because it works well.
So we wipe out the invaders. Huzzah!
Yay!
And then afterwards, now I guess Vanessa maybe didn't have this, but afterwards the Crusaders decide, the remaining Crusaders fall back across the Borskier Bridge, and they have this bridge loaded with explosives, just like they did the last one. But we are able to rush out and kill them before they get the explosives off.
This still happened for me too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's silly. So you kill the lady in charge of setting off the explosives, but before, I don't know if this is a story thing or she managed to like get off a summon spell, and she had this fire circle that kept pumping out salamanders and fire elementals that were going to rush the barrels full of gunpowder or explosives or whatever they had. So I had to spend 5 solid minutes killing these fire elementals and stopping them from making the thing explode. That was very strange. Did that happen to either of you?
I don't remember that. Maybe it did. I don't know. Vanessa says it did, so it probably happens.
Okay.
Maybe I killed her too fast. Because I usually will go after, like, she's the mage. I will always go after the mage first. And the thing is, my arrow, my bowman, and my sling people all hit really fucking hard. So a lot of the times when I get in a fight, half the enemies are dead before I reach them with my fighter, you know. The main character and Minsk will run up and everybody will be dead. Now, in my case, I'm still having that problem where the first person dies and then Minsk will be like, guess I'm done here, and walk away. And I'm like, I'm surrounded.
Do you ever use Minsk's berserk abilities where his stats go up, but he might accidentally attack your crew sometimes? It's useful.
Yeah, I mean, I don't do a lot with them because, as I said, I've been playing this expansion on easy mode, and I definitely just kind of assume that they'll do the things they should do. Some of them don't, but my mages fire their spells off. That's the biggest thing. Every once in a while, suddenly an enemy will turn green. We'll have a green circle.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, I guess we charmed that one, huh? And then I'll kill all the rest of them and then turn around and be like, well, time to kill you. Friend.
Yeah, they just stand there after they're charmed and they're like, doop-a-doop-a-doo.
Well, it wears off eventually and then they'll attack you. So you might as well just get the jump on them. Anyway, so we stop them from blowing up the bridge. And then as we cross the bridge, we see a vision. And it's a vision of Baal's death. He died right here on the bridge, slain by Sirik, who is the god of I don't remember.
Madness.
God of madness. That makes sense.
Oh, I thought he was a good god.
No,
I was wondering why all the followers of Sirik in that temple were so bad. I was like, wait, I assume that the guy who killed the murder god is going to be a good guy.
No, you got to be crazy to kill murder.
So we have this vision of Baal's death, and then as we come back from the vision, a symbol of Baal, which is the Baldur's Gate icon, is burned into the bridge, and we pass out.
Yeah.
Chapter
there
10.
There are some like interstitial like dream cutscenes here, but I didn't write any of them down because they're fucking nothing. But I guess we should talk about it. They're like, it's always like you talking to somebody you know, and the hooded man is there, and then whatever you say, he gets mad, and whoever you're talking to turns into a monster and attacks you.
Yep.
In this case,
he got
was
real
really
mad
at me for letting that priestess of Baal go.
Yeah.
He was like, you're a piece of shit. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think my options were good.
This reminded me a lot of, what was the name of the gray Jedi lady from KOTOR 2?
I can never remember her name. Kira or something?
Yeah. She's, it reminds me of her like saying, well, this is what happened because you were good. See, that person you gave credits to ended up getting stabbed because you helped him. I'm like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, but that's not anything.
That's not my fault.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we wake up in the Coalition camp outside. We're pretty close to Dragonspear.
You travel to the Coalition camp. You just kind of wake up because there's a little bit more you can do here, but it's not like there's a well, and you can drop things in the well and get other stuff back. I put a chicken in the well. I don't know.
Why? Oh, you know what? I put some money in the well and got super healed. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes.
I did do that.
You get healed if you put money in it. I don't remember what I got from putting the chicken in the well, but I got something. I guess it doesn't matter. But
why did you have a chicken?
When you first go to the Crusader camp, there's a dusty chicken, and if you click on it, it'll put it in your inventory.
Oh.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know why, okay? I don't have details. It just kind of happened, and then I put it in the well, and I got something. Anyway, so yes, after this whole... So this is interesting because next up is the Coalition camp. It's right outside of Dragonspear. And when you get there, everybody hates you now.
Yeah, I mean,
There's like a weird twist here where, like, because of what
They
happened
hate you
because
you fainted. Yeah.
Well,
and
you walked across the bridge
the...
and the symbol of Baal got burned into the stone.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like a swastika or something.
I guess that it really it makes sense. I guess it really like solidified in these people's minds that you really are a spawn of Baal, and they hate you because you're a fucking nutsack boy, and that's just what it is. So suddenly nobody wants you around, which is kind of annoying. But anyway, there are a ton of side quests in the Coalition camp, and I did a bunch of them. And I did not do big write-ups for each of them. I just kind of thought we could round robin this.
Yeah, sure.
I'll just start us off. The first one I did is the investigation. Wait, is that the?
Is this where Safana is telling you that she was picking some pockets and found some stuff?
Yep.
Yeah.
Safana tells you that she picked some pockets and she found like a cipher and a candle and something else, and she's like, "Hey, it looks like somebody is sending information to Kalar." And so you have to wander around the camp talking to people, and finally you narrow down who the traitor is and arrest them.
I didn't do that yet. I was thinking of doing that before I finished the game. So tell me about how this works.
I just did. I mean, that's what it is. There's not a lot to it. It's not like you go anywhere or do anything. You just kind of walk around. You talk to the person who the candle belongs to, and they're like, "You stole this." And you tell them, "No, I didn't. I'm trying to find who stole it."
Tell her.
And then tell her. And then you find who the cipher page belonged to, and it's the same thing. And they all kind of point you to this guy, Cole something.
Core, yeah.
And when you finally find him, he just kind of turns himself in. He's like, "Yeah, I have already passed this information along, and Kalar's gonna kill everybody, and she's the best, and fuck you." And then some Flaming Fists showed up and arrested him, and I went back and told the general what had happened.
Mm-hmm. Is the
One
general
thing you got to say about these Crusader people, they are into Kalar.
Yeah, there's zealots.
Is the general Torsen Delancey, or is it someone else?
No, Torsen, I think that Torsen is a title.
Oh,
there is a general. I didn't write their name down, but it's General like Stonebridge or something, and they are, I think, a dwarf. And in fact, I had a whole conversation because Torsen's kind of a douche, and Torsen,
he sucks.
Yeah, at one point he tells me about how he got information from torturing somebody, and I was like, "Excuse me, excuse me," and he's all, whatever, fucking. Same bullshit I heard in 2001 and 2002.
Freedom isn't free.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then I went back and talked to the general, and we talked about how Torsen is a piece of shit. So
okay.
At least I'm not alone
right,
in that.
the general's the one. So let's talk about Glint's cousins, because that's something I've been doing.
Yeah, that's a
Glint...
running side quest where I'll just set it up for you, where Glint is looking for his family members. And you're just kind of slowly finding his cousins as you travel through this land.
Mm-hmm. There's, Glint Gunderson's family is all around, and you will run into them. Like there's one in the fort, and then there's one in this camp. And there's so the one in this camp is pretty great. Basically, several people want you to get rid of this guy. In fact, he has some cohorts in his, I guess, Waterdeep militia that do want to murder him and will pay you to murder him, because he does seem to like he thinks he's the strategy alpha, and he doesn't understand why we haven't already attacked, and he does have the best ideas on strategy.
Can I interrupt? I had a conversation with Glint about him where Glint tried to convince me to go beat him senseless so that he would flee. He would leave.
Now,
Glint wanted me to beat him almost to death, is what he said.
Yeah, and, if you're trying to romance Glint, maybe you, you want to help him out with his family problems, and so you might do that.
Johnny
is what I'm saying. So I did start attacking him, and his cousin's like, "Hey, what are you doing? No, stop, help!" But no one comes to help because everyone does hate him. And I did beat him almost to exploding. And he's like, and then Glenn's like, "Okay, stop." So I just, my mom is so worried about you, and she would hate for her sister's kid to be killed, but you are going to get murdered if you stay here. You got to get the hell out of here. And he's like, but I want to be a good soldier boy. He's like, yeah, but you'll die. You suck at this. You got to go home. And he's like, well, fine. I guess I just wanted to be a hero. Wow. Here, take this. You know what, Glint? You helped me out here. Take this dagger. It's a family heirloom. And Glint's like, well, I am a cleric, so I can't use daggers, but it's pretty, you know what? It's great. Thank you. And then the cousin's like, what, you don't like it? Glint's like, no, I love it. It's great. And well, you didn't have to tell me you didn't like it. And then Glint's like, no. And I gave it to Safana, so it's fine. But yeah, Glint, you know what? Sometimes you do need to beat someone almost to death to help them see the error of their ways.
You didn't have to do that because I learned about the plot to have him killed and immediately went to the general and told the general what was happening, and he left, and I have not seen him since.
Well, my boyfriend Glint, well, I don't know if we're an item yet, but he was like, hey, thanks for listening to me and doing what I asked. And although I think we're getting a bit closer because I had Safana come up to me and say, so you and I, is this a thing? Is this happening? I'm like, no, I'm kind of interested in Glint. She's like, oh, I see. Well, I'm a one-man woman. I don't like to share my men. This is not happening, and so this is over. There was nothing happening. This never started. You are bonkers.
Safana is not a one-man woman. What is she talking about?
Safana will cheat on you in this game. If you are in a relationship with her, she will cheat on you. Yes, that happens.
She wants a cuck. She wants a man she can cuck.
Yeah.
And you can't have a cuck you. That's just, then you're just poly.
If that's what she wants. She needs to be open and honest about her desires and ask you for your consent. You know, and she doesn't do that. Instead, she tries to force a relationship on you and then cheats on you.
You do have to inform her. She needs to learn about consent, basically.
I ditched her the first chance I got.
I like her.
All right, well, there's some more. Vanessa, did you do any of these? Did you do the Thieves Guild, or Skie is Missing, or the Uncommon Cold?
Yes, I did everything.
Oh, wow.
Tell us about one of them.
Well, I was going to talk about the Uncommon Cold, but Johnny seems to want to.
No, you do it.
I did the Uncommon Cold. This is a quest where everybody's got a cold, but it's really bad. They don't know what's going on. It's probably the Rona. And they're just all kind of suffering, and nobody knows what to do. So you talk to the nurse, and she's like, I don't know what to do. You can talk to some of the people who are suffering with it, and they'll talk about their symptoms. One of the guys is like, this is making me crazy. It's making me want to attack everyone, especially you. And you do have to fight and kill him.
Wow, I didn't have to do that.
Yeah, he fought and killed me. Or tried to kill me right dead, but I did kill him instead, which I think is only fair. And then I was like, well, that was too bad. But once I had all of the symptoms collected, I was like, hey, McKinn, who's my goblin friend, what do you make of all of this? And she said, oh, well, there's some bark that might help in the woods. So if we go to the woods, bark. Yeah, if we go to the woods and get this bark, it'll probably help, maybe, or maybe not. So went to the woods, found the blackthorn bark, and took it back to the camp, and the nurse whipped up a little cure right then and there.
Nice.
And the day was saved. There was like an option to catch a rat, because it seemed like you thought that maybe rats were spreading this, but I didn't pursue that path.
Oh, weird. I didn't get that, nor did I have to find anybody. For me, Glint recognized it and told me to go get bark, and I did. I didn't really write about that area. There's not a lot there. The bark's there. There's some what is it? Nira wants it. I'll talk about it. Well, I guess I'll talk about it now. Nira is here. In fact, Nira was in the Bridgefort camp.
Correct.
Listeners may remember that I was kind of romancing Nira in the first game, but then I don't know, it just kind of fizzled. It was kind of like real life, to be honest with you. It just kind of fizzled. And so you're able to recruit her, and I decided not to, because I have Dinah hair, and fuck this lady. I was in love with you. Anyway, but she has a request. I guess that she is here. So in Baldur's Gate, I had done her side quest where we went and met the wizard Adoy, the wild mage Adoy. And Adoy, she wanted him to teach her about being a wild mage, basically, and how to control it, and he couldn't. He gave her a belt, which I still have, that protects against like petrification and polymorph. And anyway, I guess that now she still has Adoi's voice like in her head. He talks to her. She's annoying. She's very annoying now. She's constantly talking
His
to the voice
ghost. Yeah,
He's not
his ghost
dead.
is haunt. Oh, right. He's like in a different dimension or something. Oh,
No,
that's
he's
right.
just not here, but he's not dead. But he's talking to her, and she hates it. So she wants you to get these items together. And so I did. I got everything. There was like turnip juice and a potion of perception and some sort of leaf. It was the same thing that you needed in the werewolf camp in the last game. What was it?
It's a feather. There's a feather for sure.
Yep, there's a feather that you have to get. Anyway, you get her items, and that's kind of it. She uses them and stops hearing voices. I still didn't recruit her because I don't need her. I don't need it. Good for
I
me,
haven't
though.
given
I
her
did.
the turnip juice. I did get the turnip lady wanting to sell her turnip juice was pretty
Yeah.
fun.
Not to disappoint you, but all it really results in is another 6,000 XP.
Yay!
There's the Thieves Guild mission, which relates to another one that I didn't write down because I didn't do it, where the fence for the Thieves Guild will ask you to get them a bunch of stuff, and you have to go like pick pockets and trick people out of things. I didn't do that because I'm a good boy.
I'd never even found this quest.
Yeah, I did it, but I hadn't leveled up pocket picking, so I couldn't finish it. I could only get 4 things that he wanted. But the stuff
But
he
you
wants is
use
from the
a,
Crusader camp, so it's not like a big deal. The one fun thing is that he wants you to get this cleric symbol, and if you go talk to the cleric in the Flaming Fist camp, she'll say, if you really wanted to get that symbol, people of that particular faith can't resist a challenge. So take this board game with you and go play them for their symbol. So I did that. And,
Where's this camp that I gotta go to?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Is it in the Coalition camp, right? It has to be.
No, it's in the Crusader camp.
Can you go
Where's
back to
that?
the Crusader camp?
It's a new Crusader camp.
Oh, the Crusader camp outside of Dragonspear.
Yes.
Oh, is that
outside
in the
Dragonspear
like
Castle.
dead zone or whatever it's called? The no man's land?
No, it's called Crusader camp.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
it's right by, you go to Dragonspear Castle and it's like right outside it.
I guess this means that Johnny did
Oh.
not do the save Skie quest.
No, because that is also at the Crusader camp.
Well, I didn't know that I was supposed to go there.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to do every single quest. It's okay. So yeah, at the Crusader camp, it says I got this person to agree to play me for their symbol, but I didn't play the game myself. I had the witch lady who's with me. I forget her name. Minsk's girlfriend.
Dinah here.
Yeah, I had her play it
Jahiera.
because Dinah was like,
That's how I say it.
this game looks so simple. So I was like, okay,
She
you
is
play it.
very
And
smart.
She wins.
Now, there is I can't remember the name. It's like Melina or something. The cleric lady. She was a controversial character, and I do vaguely remember this when this. I get because I remember this controversy. She is a trans woman, and this is I think that's only revealed in like the supplemental lore about the game, like character profiles and stuff. And
Oh no, she told me.
oh really?
Yeah, she told me all about it.
Oh okay.
I missed
Well,
that.
she's a big problem to a lot of awful people who decided to hate this game because of it having a trans woman.
Good. It's a great game, and they don't deserve to fucking play it. What do you want?
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad that people didn't play this because it had a trans character, because people that have a problem with trans people don't deserve good things.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I just saw a clip on Twitter today of a 1982 episode of Love Boat that was all about Gopher accepting his trans friend. So that's from 1982. Get over it.
And that happened in, like, I think Cheers had an episode with that. And, yeah, like, well, that's the thing. Is like, trans people have been around for a long time.
course.
Before, I think the difference now is that back then there was such an emphasis on, like, very post-op, trans people, and now it's more not everyone's going to go for that because that basically means sterilizing yourself, and so it's a whole it's a whole thing.
I even took a screenshot of this moment. So I found this Miziana's like talisman and returned it to her, and she says, and I will quote to you: "When I was born, my parents thought me a boy and raised me as such. In time, we all came to understand I was truly a woman. I created my new name from syllables of different languages. All have special meaning to me. It is the truest reflection of who I am." And then it has a whole bunch of responses, like the one I chose, which is, "I'm pleased I could return it to you." You can also say, "None of that makes any sense to me," or "There are far stranger things in this world, I suppose," or the best response, "I know exactly what you mean. I am the same." So not only is she trans, you can canonically be trans in this game.
That's cool.
Or at
I
least
did see that,
canonically
actually. I
claim
forgot.
to be.
So getting back to the beginning of that point, which was that there's a Thieves Guild mission where you talk to the person, the fence that Vanessa did the quest for but didn't finish. Well, first you talk to the general, and the general tells you that there is a Thieves Guild being set up in the camp. So you go talk to the fence and set up a meeting with the Thieves Guild by lying to them and being like, "Yeah, we're totally gonna like be so cool. We love Thieves Guilds." And then it's funny. They're like, "I'll meet this person on the north side of camp," and this camp is large, but it's not that large because it was like 3 steps north. And this person approached me and was like, "I'm the Thieves Guild representative." And I was like, "I didn't even do anything." Anyway, I just kind of threatened them and was like, "Hey, I'll fucking kill you. And you better be with us when we fight. Like, I better see Thieves Guild arrows flying when we assault this camp. Because if I don't, you're dead." And they agreed.
Yay!
I went to them and said, "Hey, I really want to join your Thieves Guild." And they're like, "Lol, we don't believe you. You have like a hero reputation of 20. You caught us. Listen, I'm going to stop Thieves Guilding. Like, you don't even have to do anything. We get it. You don't have to pretend you want to join us. Like, you're a hero. You caught us. Fair play."
There's a short quest where there's a person training some recruits and complaining about how terrible they are, and you offer to help them out, and you basically just go person to person and give them like some advice, and that's the whole quest. It's not much. But the big one that I did want to talk about before we wrap up is that Skie is missing.
Yay!
Did y'all know that Skie is missing?
Would you
Ski
say
is
she
so
went on
much
a
trouble.
ski trip?
Skie fucking sucks. Also, I got some big spoilers for what's coming up with Skie, and I'm kind of bummed out about it. But, because I don't like spoilers. I don't want to know. But Skie is missing, as we have probably not talked about as much as we should. In the first episode of this, or the second, we talked about how Skie had joined the Flaming Fist. I ratted her out to her dad and Tar Silver Shield, and he was like, I don't care. I know. And like, but you better keep an eye on her while she's there. Maybe she'll like learn some responsibility. I was like, okay. And she's been kind of a problem this whole time. Like, she's constantly wandering off. She's constantly fighting with her superiors. She doesn't train. She wants all the glory with none of the work, you know? So she has gone missing, and she was last seen heading north to Dragonspear Castle, to the Crusader camp there. So I headed up to the Crusader camp, and she was being attacked by some mercenaries, and I had to save her. But then I was really nice to her, and I told her, like, she found some info. She found out that they were reinforcing a wall that had recently come down. And I was like, well, that's helpful. Like, that's good information for us to have. So I guess, great job. Now take your stupid ass back to the camp, please.
It's not her fault. She has affluenza.
She does have affluenza.
I like her, though.
Inza. Yeah, so I saved Skie. I also found out that they gave me some quest to be like, oh, you can get into this Crusader camp too, because I guess these people never fucking learn. But I didn't do it because I had talked to Torsen Delancey of Waterdeep back at the Coalition camp, and he gave me some explosive barrels and asked me to go plant them in the underground river where the crusade is being supplied from. So, after doing all these side quests, we head to the underground river.
Yay!
Woohoo! We did it!
Yep, the end. That's it for this week. Next week, hopefully we will finish this fucking thing.
I believe we will.
Well, I will, John. It's really a question
try
of
my
will
best. I'm gonna do it. I went to easy mode to finish Baldur's Gate 1 because I just didn't want to bother with that last fight. So I'll do what I need to do. Is what I'll say.
Well, I'm definitely gonna finish it this week, and hopefully we can wrap it up because I don't. This thing's already run 7 episodes. I would like to not not play this game for the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. And that's
You're
it.
very
Does anybody
eager
have
to
any
play
other...
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Not really. I'm tired of talking about this game. Also, because it's my pick, I have to write the notes every week, and I don't like doing that. So it's Jim's turn. Maybe he'll actually show up for every episode. Burn!
Whoa.
He's a busy
fucking
boy.
Burn. He won't. He's not that busy.
We're all busy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not that busy. But,
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'm fucking busy.
So, were there any other side quests you wanted to cover? I think I talked about what I want to talk about, the Glint Gunderson family.
I guess that I
Glunderson,
didn't get this myself, but I read that if you saved that vampire, you got like a reward in this chunker.
Oh.
Did you get that, Johnny?
I
was
did.
wondering.
Yeah, I did get that reward.
Tell us about it then. Follow up.
He gave me an amulet. It was pretty good. I can't remember what it.
Who gave it to you?
Some other follower, I guess, probably like a thrall. It was someone else gave it to me. But there was a little. Did you find that house where the lady was like? You find the lady's journal, and she's like, "My son disappeared for a month, and he came back," and that was just sad. And then there's a little
in the basement. There's a vampire, and you have to kill it.
Yep, you have to. They're behind a wall, and then there's suddenly all these vampires. That's another one where that wand of holy smite just wrecks them. Like that thing will just keep doing damage until they die, basically, and it's tons of damage. So it'll kill pretty much any evil creature in a couple of rounds.
Vanessa, do you have any side quests you'd like to mention?
I've mentioned so many.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I have anything else. I think that we kind of brought them up during the main thing. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then let's talk about what we are squarely against. Johnny, will you start us off, please?
I am roundly 4 finding out that Glint is romanceable.
It's amazing.
He's a little dork, and I like little dorks. Okay, I like big beefy dorks. But you know what? This is the best romanceable option I've ever seen in a game. So you know what? Actually, I take that. Well, we haven't played the other one yet.
Well, certainly in this game, he's the best romanceable option.
Well, in any of the games we've played so far, for me, he's the best romanceable option. I think next year for Bio-January, we might play a game with an equally good romanceable option.
Next year is Inquisition, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, Iron
me too.
Bull. I like Iron Bull, but I'm not into that sub-dom thing.
Oh, yeah.
Makes me vaguely uncomfortable for reasons I don't understand.
Why? But,
I don't know. I don't wanna
everyone's
talk about it.
consenting.
We'll talk about it next year.
Everyone's consenting.
I know that.
You're allowed to not be into everything, though.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you can not be into it, but it's fine. No one's doing anything wrong.
It's just cops and robbers for grown-ups. That's what they say. And by they, I mean Dan Savage, and I probably shouldn't quote him. Johnny finds him problematic.
Yeah. Vanessa, what are you roundly for or squarely against?
I'm roundly for surrendering in cowardice instead of fighting a battle. I think more games should give you the option to just be like, take what you want. Just let everybody live in peace. That's what you should do in real life if you get mugged. So why not have video games set the tone?
Is it? I've never been mugged, but I can't imagine being like, yep, take my money. I probably would. I mean, I'm not trying to talk tough. Don't get me wrong.
I guess my hottest tip about that is if you're going out in an area where you think you might get mugged, which could be anywhere, so, don't just base it on neighborhoods. Keep like $20 bill in your pocket, and if somebody tries to mug you, take out the $20 bill, throw it on the ground, and run away, because they're just after the money. Hopefully, and if they see the money, maybe they will pick it up and you can get away running away. But also, if someone has a weapon, just cooperate. It's not worth your life, your purse or whatever. You can get another purse.
Isn't it though? Like I have to replace my driver's license. Ugh.
It's a huge hassle.
That's what muggers never take into account. It's not my money,
hassle?
It's my time.
I don't know that they haven't taken into account so much as they probably don't care.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. And now you pass it to the next person. 7 years we've been doing this show.
Sometimes we forget.
And I'm looking at my phone.
Vanessa looking at her fucking phone.
Johnny.
Jesus Christ.
How did you level up?
I'm roundly 4. How great I did at Smush Mouth this week. That's right. And I only got 1 point from cheating.
Yay.
And I think that though
that was so
shown
funny.
after the fact that you would have gotten that point anyway. So that just goes to show there's no point in cheating.
It was pretty funny though.
Once
I realized I could kick people, I had to use it, The best part is that Vanessa, obviously she's staring at her new phone the whole time. She did not notice and had no idea. We could have kept going. I could have gotten through 10 questions before she noticed. But I stopped her because I'm nice and I didn't really want to cheat. I just wanted to do a fun prank. I'm roundly 4 that fight on the Borskier Bridge. I thought it was cool. There are so many characters on the screen, and it's a huge fight. And you've got the Flaming Fist coming in behind and attacking people, and it really made, the first game, I liked it a lot. Baldur's Gate 1, roundly 4 for sure. But this was, for me, the first time that the game felt truly epic. It was cool. And I get that it's 16 years later or whatever, and technology has improved. But it was really cool to just be in the middle of this siege and get to participate in it and fight and have all these fights going on around me. It was neat. All right. Well, anyway, we're not going to do any emails this week because Jim's not here and refused to allow us to read our one good email. So we'll skip that, and Johnny will do a Patreon plug.
All right, so we got a Patreon. You can go ahead and check out our Patreon at patreon.com/squareroots podcast.
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Square Roots podcast. That's right.
I can't remember if it was Square Roots Pod
or
Square Roots Podcast. Hey, we've only been doing the Patreon for 5 years. So you can check it out on there. And also, on there, you'll find for $3 a month, you get every single bonus episode we ever did, including our amazing presentations, which you should definitely check out. I think you'll really enjoy that. And for $5 a month, you get that, plus you get to vote on upcoming games like Final Fantasy VII Remake, which for some reason we're doing, even though we've already done this game.
Don't get me started, dude.
Don't even get me started.
Am I right, ladies? About this.
Don't even get me started.
I figure once I start playing it, I'll get into it. Vanessa hasn't played it, so that'll be cool. I mean, I guess that we can replay games that Vanessa didn't play with us, right? That's the rule now? Is that the rule? I think it is. It makes me think of this one game.
I see where you're going with that.
Makes me think of this one game.
Jedi Outcast?
No. That's not
Jedi Fallen Order?
No.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 9.
Uh-huh. I got where you were going. I
wasn't sure.
I was just doing a bit. I'm still trying to think.
Vanessa, do you want to give us a hint as to what you're thinking for the month of May bonus?
Sure. Your hint is don't panic or do.
Ooh. A hitchhike. Are we going to play the text adventure Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I knew that's where your mind would go, but
Damn, that sounds fun
you
as
got
hell.
your one clue, and that's not
No,
what's
you have to give
happening.
us a second clue that we smushed together to get the answer.
Right, I forgot. This one's harder.
No, it's going to take. I don't think you can just do those on the spot, Matthew.
No.
You can't just make up.
I can,
and it would have
I can
to
make a
work
smush
with the
pretty
word.
quickly. It's actually writing the questions that takes some time.
So, yeah,
Caught on the
and
cloud,
I'm trying to
Jesus.
think. I'm trying to think of what for mine. I think I'm probably going to do one that has Final Fantasy 4 and 5 and a couple of mana games. So sort of classic Square. But we will see.
Yeah, I will probably pick, when I come back around towards the end of the year, I'll probably pick the remainder of that because I really would like to do at least 4 or 5, if not both, this year. Mm-hmm. And those Pixel remasters came out, and I am champing at the bit. Not chomping at the bit. Actually, I am chomping at the bit.
So, yeah, you can support the show, and we will thank you in a bit. We like to thank every single Patreon. But first, I just wanted to say that if you like this show, you can rate and review it on iTunes or Ghana or Spotify or SoundCloud or Stitcher or all those
John, we do that after the Patreon plug.
We haven't gotten any
We
new
haven't read the
ratings or
things.
reviews in
Oh,
so
is that
long.
what we do now?
That's what it's always been. Look where it is on the notes.
Oh,
Do you see
I'm
the notes?
tired.
Did
Although I have
you
to go to
replace
work
the
after this.
patrons?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to go first.
I'd like to thank... No, I'm kidding.
I'd like to thank Alex Jokic, Jesse's Mom's Pizza, Jacob, Ward Childress, Brian Pitt, Sergeant Spaghetti, Rubber Bear, Race Jenkins, Fresh Eyes, Eric Garby, Seth G, Bree Girth, Justin Rash, Johnny Five Alive, Vanessa's Mom Still Plays, Flappy Bird, and Elves Level Slower Due to Racism.
I'd like to thank Tyler, Zachary, Bullet Ant Harbison, Hexagon, Citrus Sea, Angel, Iana Mazzini, Ania Mazzini, Eric Pidkamy, Chris Ryan, Friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole, Ron. Did you guys know that I'm playing a Dungeons & Dragons campaign with Ron? He's
No,
pretty
I
great.
didn't know that.
He has the best character in the campaign. It's amazing. That's not an exaggeration. It's fantastic. Anyway, William Westgard, Julian Curtis, Magpie Juju, Florian Jonas Kramer, Shin Megami Tensei 3 in 2023, yes! Jason Timms.
All right. I'd like to thank Cameron Shoei, Wedge-kun, Trey, for Square Roots Podcast. I'm Stim Stanks. I'm Mary Queen of Scoffs, Daniel Wood, Arthur A., Andy Smith, Dylan Rowe, Saving Sid's Bare Butt, Balls, and Back, Rachel, Jake Dickerson, Benjamin Hilberg, Butts on Parade, Hudson Roth, DJ Ethro, Esteban Gonzalez, and DP 2099.
I'd like to level up by pointing out that I think you should leave Season 3 premieres May 30th, and I could not be more excited.
Oh, no.
Yeah, your life is over.
Vanessa has to take a 4-week break from the podcast.
Yeah.
Send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. And if you don't want to do that, come see us on our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or tweet at us at Square Roots Pod, or join us on Discord. You have to ask us for a link for that, but we're around.
Yeah, we got a Discord. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes. For Square Roots, I've been Johnny Brandon.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm
it's really Jim. I've been here the whole time.
It's me, Jim Banks here.
You guys always want to do
Banks
Jim
here.
is Kermit, but in my mind, Jim is Mickey Mouse. So it's, hey guys, thanks for listening.
me.
I'm Jim Banks.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Way better than your Kermit.
Oh, I guess that's good.
And I'm Vanessa.
And I'm Vanessa. Bye. That was good.